Retro.
Hi, this is Emily Swallow, the Armorer in The Mandalorian. You're listening to Dennis and Jay on Podcast Stardust. This is the way. Hello there, Star Wars fans. Welcome back to Podcast Stardust, a fully armed and operational podcast. We are the galaxy source for Star Wars news, reviews, and discussion. I'm Jay Krebs.
And I am Dennis Keithley.
And Dennis, before we jump in with this month's product finds, why don't you remind everyone where they can find us on social media?
Certainly. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Podcast Stardust.
All right, so today on episode 1033, we're bringing you our special monthly feature called World Between Worlds, a mystical dimension that connects Star Wars fashion and lifestyle products to your space and time. The goal is to bring you a wide variety of ideas for products to surround you, outfit you, and bind your style sense together, kind of like the Force. So if you are new to World Between Worlds, welcome in. We've got all kinds of fun things to talk about. And if you're returning with us, welcome back. So we recently celebrated May the 4th as well as Mother's Day. So we are actually recording this ahead of Mother's Day. But in the Northern Hemisphere, we're now looking forward to the summer sunshine and starry nights ahead. There are lots of new Star Wars shopping opportunities that await. But before we bask in all the merchandise glory, Dennis and I recap any new Star Wars products we've acquired or any updates on current items we own. I have a feeling I know what the answer is going to be. But Dennis, did you get anything new since last month or any other updates that you want to let everybody know about?
I need to get that sound effect of like the game show like noise and put that here because no, I don't have anything. It's no secret. I've said this in a lot of World Between World episodes, but my wife is responsible for most of the stuff that I get. You know, that's what she does. That's her gift giving for me, and which is great because I am truly blessed to have a collection that I love of books and Lego and other things like some Star Wars potato head type stuff and art on my walls. I got a ton of it. And at this point, there's a few things that I will see that I really love and go get for myself. But I enjoy a lot of my collection because people have picked it out for me. And my wife being number one amongst all of them. So nothing now, but the next time we do this, we'll be getting close to Father's Day and I'll have a birthday. So there's always an opportunity that on June, when you ask that question, I'll have something to report. So
yes.
Nothing here, but how about you?
Again, I need that same sound effect because nothing this time around. But, I've had some great experiences, and I just talked about some of this on our last news episode. And I know you were talking about your Legos and things too. But there are some fun Father's Day-esque ideas also in this episode that have dropped since May 4th. Because, of course, what happened was we did our last World Between Worlds ahead of May 4th by a couple of weeks. And then everything drops, everything gets announced, and I was seeing everything left and right on my Instagram and getting emails from companies that I have purchased from in the past or that I've had relationships with in the past. And it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known about this. I wish I would have known about this. But, that's part of, as we were talking about in our news episode, why May the 4th has truly become a holiday. And, it's very much like gift giving around Christmas and other types of big merchandise centered sorts of holidays. And so May the 4th has really just exploded with a lot of those things. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about on this particular episode are things that dropped either the day before or were announced to be dropping on May 4th, have come out since then, and are coming out very soon. And I honestly, Dennis, I wasn't even able to fit everything into this episode. So there's just so many different things to talk about. And
those are huge too. So
They are, and just like last month, I know, and I feel bad because I put these notes together, and then of course, you're the one that does the show notes and puts all this so that I can get it out on our Instagram, and you have it on our Retrosette page. And so I try to be as conscientious as possible about all of the different links, and a lot of them are for your reference, as we're going through and talking about these. But I just get so excited because there's just so much out there. And so I have to reel myself in quite often. So this time of year is definitely a plethora of products. There are some months that I really have to dig, but this month was definitely not one of those. So I guess
Yeah.
we can
What's
just
funny about all
dive right
that is,
in.
like, the only place that the notes show up that really cares is YouTube, and so, like, it's almost without fail. Every month, I'll get an email from them that "Your show description was too long, we had to shorten it," and it's for A World Between Worlds, so, but I use the
Yeah.
same platform to put the show everywhere, so there's really not
Mhm.
much to be done about that.
Well, oops, our cup runneth over with Star Wars merch, what can we say?
Oh,
But,
worst the
it's
best
all
type of
good.
problems to have, yeah.
Right? It's so true. But before we do get into our actual merchandise for the month here, there's a couple of announcements that I do need to make. And so they are not the greatest announcements, unfortunately, but I want to get this out there to everybody. So back in March of 2026, Rock Love Jewelry actually announced that it is officially retiring its entire Disney collection, which includes all Star Wars, Disney, Pixar, and Marvel properties. So the company basically stated that skyrocketing precious metal prices, especially silver, would make it necessary to double or even triple retail prices to maintain their quality. So rather than compromise on quality, they are retiring the collections permanently, which really bums me out because Rock Love Jewelry is an independently owned, woman-centered company that's I should say woman-owned company that provides these beautiful pieces of jewelry that are handcrafted, and I do own a few of the pieces, and so it's just kind of really a bummer that this is happening, but I totally understand it. And there've been some last chance sales, and there was a final 20% off sale that was announced, but it actually ended May 6th. So, when I just checked the website as of this recording, currently everything is back to full price, but I'm guessing that there's probably gonna end up being another sale. So, if you go onto the Rock Love website right now, there's actually quite a few things to pick from. So there are 64 products that remain, and the current stock is the final inventory. So once the items do sell out, they will not be reproduced. And these final edition pieces are not eligible for return, refund, or exchange. And there are a couple of territory restrictions. So the collection's only available for shipping to the US, Puerto Rico, and Canada. So if you are listening to us from any other parts of the world, you will be out of luck. So sorry about that. But there's just some really beautiful pieces from rings. I still absolutely love the AT-AT necklace that is fully articulated legs. Just absolutely love that one. There's some old fashioned types of charm bracelets on here, really great necklaces, rings. They still have some of the kyber crystal necklaces, some of the lightsaber necklaces, all kinds of things to pick from. So if there's something that you really want, I definitely would suggest that you head on over to Rock Love and pick something out. So my pieces that I have the Ahsoka crystal necklace, and I also have the Vader and Luke Skywalker dueling sabers necklace, so it looks like an X when you wear it, which is really a lot of fun. So those are two of the pieces that I have. But does Beth own any Rock Love? I think she does, doesn't she? Or is it
Yeah,
all girls crew?
no, she has Girls Crew, and then she also has one of the Rock Love Kyber Crystal necklaces. I can't
Okay.
remember. Yeah, I can't remember which one, but I think it's blue. Been a while since
She
I've seen
got
her
that
wear it.
at a celebration, didn't she? I want to
Yeah, she
say.
got that, and I believe in Anaheim. So yeah,
Yeah.
2022.
Okay.
Mhm.
There you go. There you go. So again, if you're looking for these links, you can hit up the show notes, but rocklove.com is where you're going to find those. And then the other announcement that I have, and this is a company that we've mentioned several times on Podcast Stardust, and we even had Melissa on the show, is the Nerf Herder Co. is actually discontinuing 50 plus Star Wars related fragrances. And so Melissa actually posted this on her Instagram last week. And so if you check out, I'm not going to go through all of them that are being retired because obviously there's 50 plus. But one of the things that Melissa has done over the years is that she has really curated tons of fragrances that encapsulate her vision of different characters and what those characters can provide to your home, to your car, even with air freshener kinds of things. There's roller balls, there's wax melts, there's candles, there's room sprays and spritzes, and even cologne. So you'll have to go to the Nerf Herder Co. Instagram and check out the ones that are being discontinued. So thankfully, I have to say there's a few fragrances that have become staples for me personally. And the first thing that I did when I looked through the list, I was like, oh, please tell me Raylo's not on here. Raylo's not on here. So that is my very favorite bubble bath staple, which is still available. And it has, I'll just go through the fragrance information really quick. It's fresh French jasmine and black truffle. So it has some notes of citrus and patchouli, sandalwood, amber, vetiver, and vanilla as well. And it's actually categorized as a floral strong scent. I don't know what it is about this particular scent, but it's something that is just beautiful. It really is. And it's described on the website as a deep black orchid type scent rather than something super floral. And I would definitely agree with that. So some of these that are available still, like I said, it depends upon what she has available. But I always use the wick candles. So they're soy candles with wood wick, which I love because it gives you that wonderful crackle that you hear when you have those wood wicks, which is just really special. And then some of my other favorites are Japor Snippet, one called Princess Senator General Jedi, which is based on Leia, Snips, which is very citrusy, no surprise. And then my favorite scent for guys is the Clone Force 99 Hunter. And so I actually use this one as a pillow spritz. So I use Japor Snippet on my side of the bed and I use Hunter on my husband's side of the bed.
Huh.
And sometimes he actually even wears Hunter as a fragrance when we're going out someplace as well. And the fragrance information on that one is sandalwood and gray vetiver with notes of lavender, bergamot, leather accords, musk, and gray vetiver. And so I just love it. I really do. I really highly suggest it for guys. So those are all safe, thankfully. So I was really pleased about that. But I know Melissa's had to make some hard choices here lately about what she wants to continue and what she just simply can't continue to produce. But she's got tons of other types of products available as well, not just Star Wars. So if you go to her website, you can check out all of those. And if you happen to be in the Midville, Utah area, Melissa actually has a book club that you can attend. So she has an in person book club and they've been discussing things like back in April, they did A New Hope. They actually have coming up The Princess and the Scoundrel on May 20th. And there's another New Hope book club coming up. Oh, sorry, that one's also over. That one was on April 8th as well. So if you check that out, you might be able to get on one of those book clubs as well. So they need to do a virtual one like we do, for a Darth Main, but
Yeah,
that'd be a lot of fun. So
indeed.
at any rate, all right, so check those out. So once again, our last edition of World Between Worlds strove to provide shopping ideas ahead of May the 4th, but of course, like I said, so many companies announced drops and products after that episode released. So I have a recap of some of those noteworthy products. And some of these I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on because, Dennis, we've got obviously so many things to discuss. And, typically on World Between Worlds, I talk my head off. So please interrupt me on any of these if, as you are perusing through some of the links that I've provided here in our notes, there's something specific that you'd like to touch upon. So don't feel bad interrupting me. So first of all, her universe slash our universe has lots of new items. And of course, her universe is a staple here on World Between Worlds. And this includes some great apparel for guys, some new jackets, dresses, jewelry, collectibles, and accessories. And one of my favorite picks for the new season, the warm season coming up, is these shorts overalls called short hauls, also available at Hot Topic. And there's also some new additions to the Star Wars and mall merch as well. So these short-alls are basically jeans overalls shorts, and this one specifically is the Star Wars Rebel denim short-alls, and so it's got some really fun details on here. It's got Star Wars logos on it. It has the Sunset Rebel logo embroidered on the chest bib pocket, Jedi insignia, ships on the shorts, all kinds of fun things. And May the Force be with you is highlighted on the back with crossed lightsabers, and it's complete with pockets and adjustable straps. So this one is actually on sale right now for $43.92 as of this recording, down from like $55. So I'm just super excited to see overalls coming back into style. And it's just so true that what goes around comes around. And this one is definitely coming back around. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let's say I feel like this is a style straight out of high school. I remember this being popular like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you know what's so funny too is that I have a friend who has a daughter that's in her mid 20s, and they are completely enamored with the 1980s. So, of
Huh.
course, we grew up in the 1980s. And so everybody looks at that as being very nostalgic these days.
Yeah, well, I could definitely see why. But yeah, I did occur to me that this style of overall had really gone away until I saw this, and I was like, oh yeah, we
Yeah.
used to wear that all the time.
That's why I tend to put things, away in those vacuum bags and then eventually get them back out again because you just never know.
Right, right.
So next on the list is Roosevelt's, and it's spelled RSVLTS for our newer listeners. And we've talked about Roosevelt's quite often, I know, here on World Between Worlds and Podcast Stardust, but they also have a May 4th the collection available, which features a massive lineup of new apparel and accessories, heavily focused on the original trilogy, The Mandalorian, and The Clone Wars, which I love because you don't really see a whole lot of Clone Wars stuff that's new out there anymore. And so the new releases include their Flex button downs, and their Flex is like their little patented fabric, I guess you could say, that is basically made out of polyester and spandex, and it's made for being really lightweight, ultra soft, non-fading, non-wrinkleable, moisture wicking, like all the fun things that you would like to have out of your casual wear. And they have hoodies, performance polos, and a significant expansion into their youth and preschooler sizing. So if you're looking for stuff for the Padawans, that's a really great place to look. And so they have tons of different things available. And to save time, I'm not going to go through all of these, but just some of the fun ones that I liked was there's a retro Mando that's a nostalgic take on Din Djarin that's available in adult and children's sizes. The Yub Nub Club, which features Ewoks on Endor. The Cosmic Cocktails, which is a fun one, especially if you're thinking about taking something on vacation and you want to make that subtly Star Wars, but bring that idea into your wardrobe. And it has characters reimagined as tiki mugs, which is really, really fun. The Clone Wars crew and Starcade. And so these are also popular designs returning for the 2026 season. But this one includes those smaller sizes for the first time. And there's a reversible bomber jacket, which is really cool. So this is a new higher end apparel item in the collection. So again, check those out. They also have golf gear. So we were saying before, Father's Day, or I am your Father's Day, if you will, ideas out there for anybody that golfs. So if you head over there, they have head covers for $60. There's a New Hope for the driver, Millennium Falcon for the fairway, putter head covers of C3PO and R2D2. There's ball markers. So there's a TIE Pilot, TIE Fighter, X-Wing, and lightsabers, and those are 15. The putter head covers are also 60. I neglected to mention that. And then some jumbo putter grips for 35. So you can get those for C3PO and R2D2 character-driven designs. So again, that's at Roosevelt's, RSVLTS.com. And then one of the other things that was just released right around May the 4th as an announcement is Loungefly. And of course, a lot of Star Wars fans know Loungefly for their amazing little mini backpacks and wallets and the like. And they announced an R2D2 stained glass inspired backpack and wallet pre order. So this one is going to be available in October. So they're really getting the jump on this one, but it's so cool. And it's also exclusively at Box Lunch and the Loungefly website. So there's different retailers that sometimes carry Loungefly stuff, but this one is only going to be pre-ordered through the Box Lunch and Loungefly, and that's it. So a lot of really fun things that are coming down the pike and being made available. And then we've also got some other really amazing updates on some new things as well. And you've just put together for us this amazing Mando and Grogu food tie-ins that we're going to address here in just a second. But any of the things on those lists, I know you don't really golf, but any of the other ones that look like something that would be up your alley? Maybe bowling alley? No kidding.
By I don't really golf, you mean I don't golf at all. But that's fine. I'm happy for people who do. It's if I were going to do one of these, and look, let's just be honest, my wardrobe for the most part is t-shirts and hoodies. So you have an idea of what I wear, and I
Mhm.
seldom wear something with a collar unless I have to go do something for work, but I primarily work from home. So that's getting less and less these days. The one I really liked that was on this Roosevelt site is the Fleet and Formation shirt, but they're down to extra small and 5XL is the sizes left available
Oh.
in that one. So, it's as we get closer to celebration next year, I might consider branching out with some fun things to take to that. But I think these are cool. I'm just not sure that it meshes with my personal style.
Mhm. No, it's totally fair. And I will tell you too that Roosevelt's oftentimes has these flash sales. There was one that they had some
Hmm.
of their Star Wars stuff on sale for like, gosh, it was super cheap, 10 or 15 bucks per shirt plus the shipping. So, and I mean, if you're looking at some of these, they can run upwards of 60 bucks and more for some of these shirts. So, if you just keep checking back, and sometimes they will restock some of their sizes as well, that might be something, if you've got your eye on that one specifically, that you
Hmm.
might get lucky at some point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, there's tons of food out there right now for the Mando and Grogu tie-ins,
Hmm.
and we just simply don't have time to go through every single one of these, and I know a lot of our listeners are probably already familiar with some of the big ones like Burger King, for example, and a lot of the different tie-ins that are coming, and I've been seeing some posts that people have, tried out some of these things. So there's a Mandalorian, burger, the double Whopper, that has a almost a black bun to it. And then
Yeah.
there's a Grogu inspired green one too. And it has green pickle ketchup with creamy mayo on a sesame seed bun. And then they also have a lot of other menu options. They have a Mandalorian chicken royale, double chicken royale challenge, loaded force flies, Grogu sundae. That one kind of appeals to me. Vanilla soft serve with mint chocolate sauce and biscuit crumb topping, probably reminiscent of the little macarons that he has. I just love mint anything when it comes to ice cream. And
Hmm.
for those that are avoiding the meat, they have the Mandalorian Vegan Royale, Vegan Double Royale, and a plant-based Mandalorian Double Whopper. And then for kids, of course, they make it fun. So they have the Mandalorian King Junior meal that has some themed packaging, 5 glow-in-the-dark Mandalorian and Grogu puzzles, and they all come in collectible packaging. So for me personally, I have really tried to stay away from the whole fast food stuff. So I'll be honest, I probably will not indulge in this, and I will not be indulging in one of the other things that we actually put on our list too, but at least wanted to make it informationally available to our listeners. But have you been out to Burger King, or will you indulge yourself in any of these menu items?
No, I have not. I also don't do a whole lot of fast food. The most fast food thing we do is we have a pizza night on Wednesday here, and it's not from a chain. And then of course, but other than that, every once in a while you just get a craving for a fast food cheeseburger from someplace, and I'm
Mhm.
fortunate to have like everything in this area, so it's just whatever it is at that time. And I was listening to a podcast this morning that was talking about the formation of McDonald's and Burger Chef back in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. And I really wanted a McDonald's cheeseburger after that, but that's beside the point. Um, I do know that we have a number of friends in the Star Wars podcasting space that have been going to Burger King and getting their collectible boxes, and then the Burger King gives away their little crowns, but they have
Mhm.
Mandalorian style crowns, and so they've all been taking selfies with those. So that's been fun to watch. But
Yeah, I'm
anyone
with
can
you.
collect whatever they want out there. My collection space is at a premium, and so I'm gonna have some guests here that need to use this office to stay in a few weeks. So I'm going to have to. So it's forcing me to kind of tidy up the collection a little bit, and we'll see what kind of room I can make at that time. But uh, I know Burger King's doing like the collectible cups as well,
Mhm.
or I don't think
Mhm.
they're glasses, but also the Alamo Draft House is doing that again. And I used to get those things, but then I just wouldn't use them, and they were taking up space. And it's like, well, if I'm not seeing them, I'm not using them, then I'm not enjoying them. Why am I doing it?
Mhm.
And so, at any rate, this is fun. It does bring back the memories from when we were much younger, and they did that tie-in with the glasses and the cups. I think it was with Burger
Oh,
King
yeah.
after
Mhm.
Empire
Yep.
Strikes Back,
Yep.
and I really think of that type of thing fondly. But this is this is just part of the celebration of this movie that I'll be skipping in favor of probably going out and finding a fun couple collectibles to add to my collection that have to do with the
Mhm.
movie.
Mhm.
Traditionally, I usually get like an action figure per movie or something like that because that's just fun to do and it doesn't take up a whole ton of space. So
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
that's totally fair. And, we always talk about that too, that everybody has the things that they pick and choose for the
Hmm.
fandom and the way that they want to express their fandom. I actually still have my Burger King Return of the Jedi glasses.
Oh, nice.
So I need to pull those out. I think I said that one other time too, and they're downstairs all wrapped lovingly in bubble wrap. So I need to pull those out. And I don't know if you remember when the Clone Wars movie came out, McDonald's had the Happy Meals and you could collect all of the different ships. They were
Hmm.
basically the ships and the vehicles with the bobbleheads of each of the characters. And I don't know if Burger King does this, but with, for example, the 5 glow in the dark Mando and Grogu puzzles, sometimes if you are lucky enough, you can just go in and say, "Hey, can I just purchase the toy?" And that's what I did for all the Clone Wars vehicles, and I actually purchased 3 sets of them.
Wow.
I purchased one to open up and let my kids play with, and then I purchased another one just for myself to display in my collection, and then I purchased a third that I never took out of the packaging.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I still have all of those, which is really kind of a lot of fun. But you were talking about the Alamo Draft House and the pint glasses that they have. So I know you have a great venue by you that has those kinds of things. And the cups that you're referring to at Burger King, I believe they are actually color changing
Oh,
with
there you go.
the cold. So, but I think they're disposable cups. I don't think they're actually collectible cups. I would, if anybody knows for sure, let me know. I saw something on one of the Instagram reels of them filling up the cup with, soda or whatever from the fountain, and it changed colors. So I'm assuming it's probably disposable, but it would be cool, if it wasn't, you could keep it. But really quickly, there's a few other things to hit on too. There's depending upon where you would go to see the movie and the different types of merch that's going to be tied into that. There is an AT-AT bucket, popcorn bucket that's available at View Theaters. There's a Mandalorian helmet popcorn bucket and AT-AT cup and the like. The Walmart actually does have the availability of the Mandalorian and Grogu popcorn bucket with a Fandango movie ticket. So they've paired up with Fandango to be able to redeem your movie ticket for something like that. And then they also have some merch with Grogu and the Anzellans as well. And the various popcorn buckets and sippers from all the different movie chains are out there too. So it really just kind of depends on where you go. I just know for myself personally that every time I've gone to see these movies, for example, Revenge of the Sith, when it was re-released last year, I should say, in the theaters, I went to two different movie theaters. I went to Regal and I went to Cinemark, and they both did not carry it because I don't live in a big enough city for them to think it's important, I guess, because they never stocked them. So, and that was like the biggest thing that I wanted. So you really kind of have to be careful. I know Cinemark sometimes will allow you to go right on their website and order it as well. So that could be an option if it's not something that's readily available near you. So, little PSA, and you can check out whatever your specific situation happens to be. So, and
Cool.
so ironically, I was just at Walmart before we recorded this episode, and I got to see firsthand the Nilla Wafers Grogu Nilla Nummies. So, if you are familiar with Nilla Wafers, which I love me some Nilla wafers. They're so good in milk, and you use them for things like banana pudding and so on and so forth. Well, these are kind of that bluish color that mimic the macaron, once again, that Grogu is very fond of. And I saw this, and I did have to check the ingredients, and they are still using the artificial dyes. So I was like, we're going to put these right back on the shelf because I've been trying to avoid those artificial dyes for years, long before it became something that was readily talked about recently. And so it does have the blue lake too, and stuff like that in it. So I'm like, well, okay, maybe not. But what I do have that's blue, that is actually made with all natural ingredients, is the True Moo blue milk and special edition chocolate milk. So I know True Moo was putting these out a lot of times around May the 4th anyway. So this year is definitely no different. So one of the fun things is that if you go to the True Moo blue milk, or True Moo, let me say that. That's hard to say. True Moo blue milk. Say it 10 times fast. They do have a daily enter to win $5,000 cash between now and June 1st, sponsored by the Dairy Farmers of America. And so if you win, it'll be paid out via Venmo. And what's really fun is they also have some interactive things on the website. So they have some fun links on the site about the history of blue milk, some fun recipes, and even a craft idea. So if you want to know where to find your True Moo blue milk, there we go, then you can click on the link also to some of the local retailers, and it'll point you right where you need to go. So that's kind of fun too. Have you ever picked up the True Moo blue milk? There, I got it.
Yeah, in the past we've had it before, and it was fine. We got it, used it up, and then really, we just were eating regular milk after that. So yeah, it was fun
Hmm.
for it was fun for just the one time.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And I've done it before just with natural food dyes. I used to do that
Mhm.
at school every year with my kids because, of course, their teacher loved Star Wars, so they were kind of forced, pun intended, to celebrate May the 4th with me. So sometimes we would make Wookiee cookies in class, or we would do the little Star Crunch cookies and make like frosting Wookiee faces and the little edible eyes and things out of those. So we would decorate solo cups and all kinds of fun stuff. So it was always kind of a thing for me as well. So, all right. So, off the food and on to Bath and Body Works. And so, this was really exciting. Bath and Body Works actually dropped some exclusive items online May the 4th. And their full in store product line was available starting May 11th. And I didn't realize that they didn't drop the whole thing in person. So, that was one of the things I forgot to mention in our news episode, was that I did stop in at Bath and Body Works on May the 4th, specifically to be able to go in and see what the merch was. And I was the only one in the store. And I said, "Where's all the Star Wars stuff, people?" And, jokingly. And they're like, "Oh, it's only online right now. It'll be here on the day after Mother's Day." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Because for me, I want to be able to smell these fragrances in person. It's enough when you order a candle and don't really know what kind of fragrance you're getting until it gets there. But like, I'm a little apprehensive about what Grogu smells like. So like I just really want to be able to smell it first before I make that kind of investment. So I don't know. Are you with me on that one? Or
No, I'm
are you a
definitely with
chance
you.
taker?
No, no, candles are one thing, but doing yeah, I I would spend a limited amount on a candle for a fragrance, but I do want to know what it smells like. And as we've talked about on these type of things when it comes to fragrances in the past, I'm not good with the descriptive words that they use for a lot of these things. And unless you're talking, something about like, it smells like chocolate, smells like orange, these very basic things.
Right.
It's just too much of a challenge for me.
No, I'm totally with you for sure. So, speaking of the fragrances, there are two fragrances that are at the core of this collection, and they're calling them Force Flow and Bounty Hunter. So, Force Flow is described as a crisp green and fresh scent, great for springtime with notes of green apple, salted lavender, and cosmic sage. So, of course, that's your Grogu end of things. And then Bounty Hunter has an edgier, more rugged quality. So, they're calling it Beskar Sea Salt, solar woods, and protective patchouli. So this is Din Djarin inspired. And that's the one that I would definitely want to sample first because I'm not a big patchouli fan. The spicier scents to me,
Hmm.
I'm really careful about that. So I'm leaning more towards the Grogu one anyway. And then there's some accessories that you can buy as well. So there's a Mandalorian and Grogu pocket back holder, Mandalorian and Grogu 3-wick candle pedestal, and a Mandalorian wallflower heater. So those have the little scented oils that you can put in them. So I might actually pick up the wallflower heater because that's something that would be fun to put, in your office or in my cosplay room or, that type of thing. And there's also some loyalty exclusives. So if you are one of the Bath and Body Works members, so to speak, it includes an exclusive scent called Ice Planet that comes in a 3-wick candle and has notes of frozen cypress, glistening water, and radiant amber. So there's also some online things for rewards members that are designed with collectability and playful details in mind, including the Grogu Snacks collectible tin, canvas bag, Mandalorian and Grogu coin purse, and a Mandalorian extendable arm pocket back holder. So all kinds of fun things. So you can also get some lotions and soaps and, all of the things that Bath and Body Works does provide. So anything, are you a member of Bath and Body Works? Do you guys use that often or at
No,
all?
no, I'm trying to think. The two I was aware of in this area are no longer open, so I'm not even sure if I don't even think about them anymore at this point, just because it's
Hmm.
not there's not been a location nearby for
Hmm.
some time.
No, I understand that completely. And
Hmm.
I live about 20 minutes away from my Bath and Body Works. So there are some things that I know specifically. There's some candles that I absolutely love the scents of. So if I see that they're having their sales that they typically have semi-annually for their 3-wick candles, I'll stock up on those and just order them online because then you can get free shipping too. So I am a member of Bath and Body Works, and so that's a nice little perk that I do enjoy.
Cool.
Okay, moving on. So we've got Vera Bradley, and Vera Bradley products. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are already familiar, but they are generally defined by their vibrant patterns, soft quilted textures, and practical organizational features. So these are things like bags, lunch bags, totes, and that type of thing. And so, while once they were primarily known for colorful cotton bags that became a staple on high school and college campuses and at airports. I remember seeing my high school kids with their little Vera Bradley lunch boxes all the time. The brand has actually modernized its aesthetic to include more versatile designs. So this year's Star Wars Grogu Medallion Collection features 13 items in a playful yet detailed pattern that combines Grogu, macarons, again, this is a theme, and celestial elements in a blue, pink, and orange palette. So it's crafted in cotton and includes popular styles like the large original duffel that sells for 145, a small tote for 250, and a triple zip hipster for 165 for travel and daily use. So for me, I love looking at the Vera Bradleys, but it's definitely one of those things that is not in my budget. And anymore, I don't really have a need for this type of tote or, the like. So I tend to look for them more on things like closeouts, eBay, after the fact, because I don't know. For me personally, I love purses, don't get me wrong, but that's a little much. But you're also paying for quality too, because Vera Bradley really is great quality stuff. So there's a couple of different key patterns, and it's primarily the Grogu medallion and the Grogu macaron print. And like I said, there's over 13 items. they do range anywhere from 25 all the way up to, that big 250 that I was talking about. Very highly detailed. And it even has some of the Ansel and Droid Smiths in there, which I think is awesome. And they're known for using recycled cotton that offers the traditional soft quilted feel of all of their bags. So it was released May 7th, and it is currently available through both primary and secondary market retailers. So you can find it at places like Vera Bradley Online, Dillard's, and even in the Disney parks. So it is specifically sold at Disney Springs in Walt Disney World for those shopping in person. So a lot of fun. I love Vera Bradley, but like I said, it's not something that's really in my budget. So if anybody picks these up though, I'd love to know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're colorful or playful or whatever, but yeah, I mean, this is if you're going to do this, you want to make sure you're getting something that you're going to get your money's worth for.
Hmm.
And by that, I mean like you're going to get a lot of use out of. This would not be something I'd want to invest in and then just have it be used like once a year or something like that. A couple
Yeah.
times a year for a trip or something. And you'd really want to make sure you're getting good use out of it.
For sure. I mean, if anybody wants to gift it to me, I'm always, game though. Just saying.
Big of you, Jay. Big of you.
I know, right? What can I say? So this is something though that I am actually definitely interested in. And it is the Olive and June Mani and Petty products. So for those out there that love to spruce up their fingernails or toenails, the Olive and June Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu collection, which just launched this May, is a limited edition collaboration featuring 8 new long-lasting polishes, 4 gel colors, 6 press-ons, 6 what they call pressies for kids and tweens. So it's specifically formulated for littler hands and non-toxic materials, which their others are non-toxic as well, which I'll get to in a second, and a collectible themed Manny system. So, of course, it's inspired by the Disney Plus series, but it's a great tie into the movie as well. And the shades feature metallic chromes, glitters, and pastel tones. So, there's just some key products in the line that I want to address. So, they have those 8 shades of polishes and gels, like I was talking about, which includes, these are fun names, Navarro Glaze, which is an iridescent rose gold. I love rose gold, just saying. Signet Pink, bright pink shimmer. Razor Crest Refresh, which is pastel orange. Grogu Green, pastel green, no surprise there. Holo Glitter, which is like a blue jelly. Neon Streets Haze, lilac. Sublight Shimmer, which is a teal purple, and Beskar Chrome, which is a charcoal, and it's got these really fun like glitter pieces in it as well. And then they have press-ons and pressies. There's 6 new themed glue-on and tab-on press-on sets, including Grogu Green Velvet, the Mandalorian Creed, and Dark Saber Holographic Chrome. They also have an entire Manny system, which is a branded limited edition kit with a special pouch and Mandalorian Grogu themed poppies for easier painting. Now, the poppies thing is new to me. I'd never heard of these before. So they actually have these things called blind box poppies, where, and I know you're familiar with this, where you can get those little mystery pouches with the mini keychains and the mini action figures and stuff like that in them. Well, this one has blind box poppies, and a poppy is basically their patented universal polish brush handle that's designed to make painting your own nails much easier. So it's essentially the silicone round topper that slides onto the top of almost any nail polish bottle, including other brands. So if you're interested, go to Olive and June. And it's supposed to give you a better grip, more control. It's like ergonomically developed and all of these things. So who knew that like nail polishing? But I will say it gets a little awkward sometimes when you're doing your own. So they do advertise that they have great durability, long lasting polish, lasts up to 10 days, and the gel polish can last up to 21. And you would need a curing light if you're going to be using the gel polish. And I have one myself. So this is something that I'm actually very interested in. And so when I was saying that these are all non-toxic, the formula on all of these is clean, vegan, and what they call 15 free. So it signifies that a nail polish is formulated without 15 of the most common harmful chemicals found in traditional polishes. So choosing these cleaner formulas help to reduce your daily exposure to toxins that can be absorbed through your porous nails. And of course, Who doesn't want to reduce their toxins? Am I right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. So once again, that is at oliveandjune.com. And if I do pick any of those up, I will definitely let you know because I'm kind of thinking I might want to do this for the Mando and Grogu premiere. So I need to get on and do some ordering if that's going to be the case. So, another thing that we like to do on World Between Worlds is talk a little bit about different destinations and activities, different places that you can visit that are Star Wars themed. And so, one of the things that came across my Instagram line just recently, could Disney be offering Galaxy's Edge as a wedding venue? Oh my
Mm.
gosh. So this is only a rumor right now, but this was actually on Fantatrax and they referenced Park Trend News blog. So if Disney follows what they've done in their other parts of the park and places like the Haunted Mansion, then Galaxy's Edge could someday become a location where fans could visit and tie the knot. How cool is that?
Yeah, very, very cool. I expect it's a pretty penny to do so, but if that
Oh
happened,
yeah.
but that could be a dream come true for a lot of diehard Star Wars fans.
Absolutely, and destination weddings are definitely becoming more and more popular as well. So, if you're thinking about making that relationship permanent at a Disney park and Galaxy's Edge, then keep your eyes open for sure. And then if you happen to be visiting Colorado Springs or you live in the Colorado Springs area, there is a place called Illusion Speakeasy. So it's spelled Allusion, not illusion, Allusion. And they are actually a revolving pop-up concept. So they change their theme and their decor every quarter of the year
Hmm.
to deliver a new experience to their customers. So they actually have two different locations. And I'm not familiar with Colorado Springs, so I'm just going to read these off. So if anybody knows where I'm talking about, or if you've ever been to this place, let us know. Their east side location is on the Powers corridor, and their west location is in downtown Colorado Springs. So, but from what I can tell, very cool. And they do have their Instagram. And if you want to get onto their Instagram and check out all of their lineup, they've got some really cool things. So they have their food lineup posted, all their cocktails are posted, um, all kinds of fun stuff. They even had a ages Star Wars brunch with some reservations required there. There's a reel that you can watch that goes into some of the different types of themes and things that they have and the decor that they have right now. So, according to the information that I was able to gather, is that it opened April 16th and is set to run for 90 days. So I didn't do the math on that, so I don't know exactly what 90 days is, but I mean, if you figure 3 months, April, May, June, July. So if you've got some travel plans, it might be a place you want to visit.
Yeah, yeah, it looks really cool. That would be fun to have something like that locally to check out.
Absolutely. So, with that, I think we're done for this month. There's so many other things, like I said, that I would love to have included, but we just simply don't have time. So, I put bookmarks in for next month. I've got some more Father's Day ideas out there, some more really fun summer apparel, and some outdoor kinds of things as well. So, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for now and just make sure you tune in next month. So, thank you all for joining us for this episode of Podcast Stardust and this episode of World Between Worlds for May of 2026. And before we go, I just want to say once again, thanks for tuning in. We hope that you've enjoyed the episode. And if you would consider subscribing to RetroZap, and you can get all of the other amazing podcasts that RetroZap has to offer. You can like, rate, subscribe, all the things over there. There's tons of fun things. There's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. case files, Animaticast, Enjoy Stuff, Love, Death, and the Robots Plus. Dennis, your podcast that you did with your wife Beth, Warp Trails, which is now in
Hmm.
hiatus, but it's a Star Wars or Star Trek podcast, sorry, and all kinds of fun things. So just check out those and add those to whatever podcatcher you happen to be using. And we'd also love it if you would rate and review us, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that just seems to boost us up the algorithms just a little bit more. But we'll definitely take ratings and reviews anywhere. I know YouTube has them. You're going to give everybody all of our other ones here in just a second. But Audible, Spotify, all the things. So with that, Dennis, go ahead and just remind everybody else or everybody where else we can be found on social media.
Okay, so the primary place to find us on social media would be Facebook and Instagram, where we are at Podcast Stardust. And then the show also has a Pinterest page. We have our episodes set up on YouTube and YouTube Music. It is audio only, but the our host publishes to both automatically. And if you've got something that doesn't work well on any of those platforms and you want to share it with us, the best place to do so is our email address, which is podcastartist@gmail.com. And then we'd love it if you would pick up some of our merch, which is primarily t-shirts, which are available over at TeePublic. We've got a link for that in the show notes. Jay, what do you have going on in cosplay?
All right. So as usual, you can always catch me on my Instagram, which is at j.snipscosplay. And my main is Ahsoka, but I'm also the fourth sister Inquisitor, as well as two different versions of Hera. My Mandalorian, which I am potentially going to be wearing for the premiere of Mandalorian and Grogu. So stay tuned for that. Little teaser there. But again, you can find that at j.snipscosplay. So with that, Dennis, why don't you let everybody know what we've got coming up on the show?
Sure. So on Friday, our intent is to do news, but we don't know if that'll actually happen since we just did a news episode on Monday and reverting back to our regular format now that Mall Shadow Lord is over. But if that isn't happening, there will be some other episode in its place. So tune in and find out what we do. On Monday next week, we're returning to our Clone Wars rewatch. We took a break for Mall, and so we'll be getting back to that. And then on Wednesday, it is the next installment of our Force Awakens series, and we have a fun guest lined up. So make sure you get back for all those things.
All right. So thanks for listening to episode 1033, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And until next time, may the force of Star Wars fashion and lifestyle be with you.